Have you ever met someone and thought, yeah, I know this person from someplace, but you also know that you don't know this person at all? Well, some people find that to be a form of soul recognition. Now, I'm not talking about soulmates or twin flames, but something a little different. Stick around, I'll tell you more. Live, trance, and prosper. Hi, I'm Dr. Brian David Phillips, and welcome to Soul Recognition. What is soul recognition? Well, it's that deja vu feeling you have when you meet a complete stranger, but you think, I know this person from somewhere. But you also know you don't know this person, but you seem to feel something toward them that you normally wouldn't feel toward strangers. Now, for some folks, this is soulmates, or how we meet that special someone. Okay, if you like. Or, for others, it's the twin flame. The reason you feel such a strong connection is because your souls are actually not just soulmates, but you're part of the same soul construct from pre-existence. Or it's a form of soul recognition, which is a little different. That's when you recognize a soul that you have interacted with from a previous existence or life, if you will, and there's still some recognition back there, a little bit of something that says, I know this one, hey, hey, hello. Now that could be meeting someone who you're destined to be a friend with, if you like. There's an old wives' tale, because old wives used to say it, that if you meet someone, a stranger, if you meet them 3 times in a short period of time, usually within a week, you are destined to connect with that someone in some way, either in a positive way or a negative way. Now, we can chalk that up to old wives' tales, which is a shortcut for saying, I don't know, maybe yes, maybe no. Sometimes old wives got a lot of wisdom. Sometimes they don't know what the hell they're talking about. But sometimes things just work out that way. Carl Jung called it synchronicity, or coincidence with meaning, meaningful coincidence. It's nothing more than a coincidence that happens to mean something very important to you. Yes, that's very helpful, I'm sure. Actually, when I was in college once, I met more than a few friends. I was thinking of one specifically, but now that I think about it, I met a few this way. But the one I'm thinking of specifically, okay? Alrighty then. So, I'm walking home to my dorm on campus, and it's raining, so I've got my old umbrella, because I'm the kind of guy who carries an umbrella, okay? And as I get close to the dorm, I see past this poor girl who is Asian, and we're in Kansas, by the way, and she's got no umbrella. She's got a newspaper over her head, and she's getting soaked. I am 10 feet from my door, and I say, excuse me, miss, use this, and I give her my incredibly cheap ass umbrella. So just use this. He says, but that's yours. It's okay. Just take it. And she goes on her way. Alrighty? Now, later that same day, I am in the lunchroom with my friends. And another friend joins us, and with him are 2 girls, including that particular girl who is his friend. She was coming out of the dorm, evidently, because she had been visiting him. She has my umbrella. She returns my umbrella because she's now with her roommate who has an umbrella. Yay! So, we've met twice. Okay, later, in the same day, I'm at the bookstore, and there she is in the same section that I am. That's destiny. We became friends. Not lifelong friends, but we became friends. If you meet someone 3 times, you pretty much need to do that. I met another friend a very similar way. At the same university. Evidently, synchronicity brings me female friends. Male friends too, so there is that. But if you meet someone that often, the universe is saying, pay attention! That's a little different than the soul recognition. For instance, I was at Costco in Taipei, and I was walking down the aisle and I met this woman. Our eyes connected. I know her, and it's obvious she recognized me too. But we don't know each other. Not here, at this time and space, or in this lifetime. But there was something that connected. Right? And that is what some people consider soul recognition. I had no romantic impetus towards her, and she probably didn't have such an impetus toward me too. But there was a moment of recognition. Now, here's the thing. If you have a metaphysical bent, you can tell yourself that is a form of soul recognition. That is, you recognize someone whose soul is somehow connected to yours. It doesn't mean that they are intertwined completely, that they somehow must have an important impact in your life. It just means that you recognize this entity before. Or if you prefer, and I know a lot of people who prefer this explanation, it's deja vu. And deja vu, some people put a lot of importance into the feeling of, I've been here before, I've done this before, I recognize this, and say, oh, it's precognition, or reincarnation, or all sorts of things. Or the neurological explanation of deja vu, yeah, neurons are randomly firing off in your brain, causing a sensation of recognition, when actually it's just a misfire. Yay! Neurology can be such a downer. You're just blowing my whole mind trip, man. But here's the thing. Whether it is a neurological misfire of neurons, or if it's a recognition of an entity or soul that you have spent time with before and has a connection to you, or if it's soulmates or twin flames or whatever you want it to be, here's a fun experiment. Create a soul recognition. That is, walk down a busy sidewalk, have eye contact with someone, and as you connect, think, I know you. I see you. I recognize you. Now, as you think that, you say, what do they need at that? No. You really go into it and you believe it as you think it. I know you. I see you. I recognize you. I know you. I see you. I recognize you. And really believe it. And notice what happens in the other person's physiological response to you. That is, their body posture, how their face is set, that sense of recognition. Notice it. It's there. Now, after you do that experiment, you can then say, well, that's because I'm not really reading the other person's physiological or emotional responses. I'm just projecting my own. Or, well, that's kind of neat. Now, Carl Jung would say that this sensation of recognition or attraction to someone else is actually, it's a projection anyway. Our unconscious projects onto another person. That's his explanation of attraction. My anima, because I am a man, my anima projects the ideal female upon women that I'm attracted to, that somehow fit a pattern of attraction for me, and I initially project that anima upon them until eventually I start to meet them, learn about them, to have a relationship, and eventually the anima falls away, and either that attraction remains or it goes bye-bye. And that's an interesting thing, and you can play with that projection as I just described. Now, if you'd like to learn more about all sorts of nifty stuff, this isn't really about soul recognition, although we do use processes similar. Why don't you join us in Sydney, Australia, September 5 and 6 for the Sensual Mind Ecstatic. Now, this will be about making connections, intimate connections with appropriate adult partners for sensual context, but you can also adapt it to the techniques to other things if you wish, or you just do the erotic stuff, because that's what we're about in Sydney, September 5 and 6, 2015, the Sensual Mind Ecstatic. Now, I hope this video has been informative to you. This was a pastoral question I was asked about soul recognition, so I thought I would share a bit about my thoughts about it. Every week we have a new video for you. Sometimes I rant, sometimes I rave, sometimes I answer pastoral questions like this one, and sometimes I just guide you through a trance. We're doing a little saving. I quite enjoy saving. But for now, this is Reverend Dr. Brian David Phillips asking you to click that subscribe button so you get notices when we have new videos and things like that, and also so you can comment and ask questions and all sorts of things. Let us know what you like about these videos so that I can better serve your needs. Also, live trance and prosper. Bye-bye.